Coming up next, how finding a job will be very different in 2021 and the 5 qualities that will get you promoted. We'll cover that, your calls, and your chats, and it all starts right now. I am coming to you live from Ramsey Solutions Studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation. A conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you can do that, where you want to do it, and then the path to get there. We're talking about you living and working on purpose. I believe those are synonymous because I think that every person on the planet was created on purpose. You were created to fill a unique role in your work, through your work. That means you are tremendously valuable no matter what others have said about you, no matter what has been done to you, and no matter what you think and feel about yourself. I'm telling you, you are valuable. You are needed. You have something that the world needs you to contribute. So that means you must do it. But you can't do it until you know what it is. You can't do it until you know how to get there. And that's why I'm here. I am your counselor, coach, and cheerleader. You're one phone call away from clarity, which will give you confidence to step out and the courage to stay with it. That's why we do this show. And I believe this show is needed now more than ever because it's about you. You have the answers. It's my job to get them out of you. So welcome to an all-important conversation about your contribution. Here's how you jump in. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. You can also submit your question via the chat room. We try to get to some of those every show. You can email the show, ask@kencoleman.com. You can go to my website, kencoleman.com, for a lot of free resources, articles, guides, short assessments and quizzes that will help you. And then there's tremendous paid resources as well. You can follow me on Instagram at Ken Coleman or search the Ken Coleman Show on Facebook. All right, but before we get to the calls, I love to share articles to start our show. I love to share data, things that will help you every day. And a good article from Fast Company here, the title, How Finding a Job Will Be Different than 2020, different than it's ever been before. I think there's a lot of goodness here. That's why I'm going to share some things in this article. Again, in Fast Company, you can search it, How Finding a Job Will Be Different in 2021. Okay. Internal talent marketplaces will grow in importance. According to the article, one of the biggest trends that we're going to see in the post-pandemic world is a heavy focus on people looking for new jobs within their organization. Yesterday on the show, took at least 2 calls of people that were applying for jobs within their organization. And organizations are going to be actively looking for candidates within more than they have in the past. So that's going to change the game. There could be some opportunities right under your nose. Look for them. Your digital presence will matter more. Again, because of everything being more remote, recruiters, hiring managers, they're going to look for your digital presence. What does this mean specifically? You need to move the focus from your resumes and place it more on developing digital footprints to get noticed. So whether you're contributing an article here or there, or you got some type of write-up for some award or something, create more digital presence that adds more value to you than just your resume and experience. Specific capabilities that employers are looking for. Problem solving and adaptability. I've been talking about this for a while. This is not a new item for those of you who've been watching and listening to the show for a while, but I'm telling you, the ability to solve problems and be adaptable, and that is, you're going to hear more about that later in the program. That is a premium. So here's the deal. You've got to put those words in your resume, that digital presence, social media profiles and things like that. You've got to put things out there like that I'm a great problem solver. I'm a system problem solver. I'm a people problem solver. I'm a thing problem solver. I'm a problem solver. And I'm extremely adaptable. I eat change for breakfast. That matters to people. Geographic options will increase. Again, I've touched on this as well on the show. Here's what I mean by that. Because remote work is now even more acceptable for companies because they had to remote work for a while, and they're seeing, hey, the efficiencies are still there. Jobs that weren't open to you personally before, let's say you lived on the West Coast and you didn't want to move to the East Coast or the Midwest. Well, those jobs are now available to you because you're not going to have to uproot your family and move. So I think it's a much bigger buffet of options. Upping your production game, video conferencing. If you're going to be working more remote, and you are, getting proper mics that aren't, you have to spend $700 on a mic, but a $100 mic's probably a better investment than the mic on your computer. Getting good lighting, the right amount of internet bandwidth, things like this. Up that production game if you're going to be working remotely so that, it's a pleasing experience for folks. They don't feel like they're inside of your closet with you. Online networking will continue to grow. Professional groups, job search groups, where leads and opportunities are going to emerge. You've got to be just as aggressive with the proximity principle, getting around people that are doing what you want to do, getting in places where what you want to do is happening online, not just in person. So some good stuff there from that article. Again, if you want to do a deeper dive on that, how finding a job will be different in 2021. That is a Fast Company article. Good stuff there. 844-747-2577. Quick reminder to those of you parents and grandparents that are watching the program. We created Foundations in Career Readiness. It's an online course taught by me, and it's for young people age 13 to 19. More and more, we're going to see kids coming out of high school and going right into the job force. But even if you're going to college, I created this course to get them ready to be able to pick the right major, the right college, the right educational direction. And it's called the Foundations in Career Readiness. It's only $29.99. It's at my website, kencoleman.com. Just click on the store, Foundations in Career Readiness. And again, this is taught for young people. All they need is a computer, tablet, and internet access to watch the content. Be a great resource for your 13 to 19-year-old parents and grandparents. All right, to the phones we go, 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Fort Mill, South Carolina is where Chris is on the line. Chris, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how are you?
Chris, I'm living the dream. What's going on with you today?
Yeah, I was recently laid off from my dream job in the sports media industry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is that job where you put the years of side work in to kind of get the industry experience and attain that job.
Yep.
It was kind of a little bit of a niche role. So now I currently find myself at a crossroads of how do you bounce back from losing the dream job and identify that next opportunity or dream?
Yeah. That's a great question. Well, we can do it. It's doable. So let's start there. What was the role? Can you describe that niche role?
Yeah, it was managed a content team in a newsroom environment where we're reacting to games and breaking news and putting together, long-term planning for sports content with historical context and data analysis. In the end, we were kind of storytellers looking for ways to differentiate our content from our competition. So I kind of led a team on that. And helped grow and develop the team members on that to make sure that we were always trying to stay ahead and making sure that we were the best in the industry. It was just a great opportunity. It was a great role. Loved every minute of it, and it's just one of those things you're just trying to figure out how can this transition into other roles.
Well, what happened? Was it just was this a national organization, regional, local? What are we talking about?
It was a national organization, and it was a company-wide, layoff. I was one of many, unfortunately, and it's it's just a.
Is it so? If it's national, it's a reputable organization. So that's got some shine to it.
Yeah, most definitely.
And you're not the only one. This was a COVID casualty or some type of mismanagement, however you want to call it. It's really not a blight on your resume. You were swept up in the big release.
Oh yeah, it was very much COVID dependent. I mean, you just look at the sports industry. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
They're very fortunate to get the games played that they have this year, and it's been a challenge all year. And I was impressed with the way, in general, the company handled it overall.
Okay, good. So, what's your read on the future in the actual industry as it relates to the type of work you were doing once we see the COVID thaw begin to happen this year and beyond?
I think it's going to bounce back in time. It's all a matter of how long that time will be. And the way I kind of look at it is it's a little bit location dependent. And that one of the weaknesses I had is that I was one of the few remote managers in my department. I was in a remote office, and they had a preference for having the people in the home office.
All right, so what do we learn? So what do we learn from that? What's our reality going forward? We have to get real practical, and this is one of those practical steps. Is that something where you're limited because you're going, I've got to live in Fort Mill, South Carolina, I'm not moving anywhere else?
It's a little bit. I mean, I'm not. You never say never, but it's not my first choice. I got to have my dream job for 9 years. And it's a matter of there are other elements, I think, that come into play with decisions like this, for example, with families and whatnot, as we get in things of that nature, that I think play a little bit of role in it, which is why I feel like, to a degree, that I more than likely will need to move into something outside of the sports industry. You never rule it out. You always are hopeful.
Why? Why do you assume that?
Just because they don't have the opportunities in the local market that I'm in on the scale of this.
Right, but I'm wondering, is the remote possibility? Are there other organizations right now that are growing and in a much better situation than the organization that you got laid off from?
I think everybody's impacted in a very similar fashion. And I know that the role that I particularly had, I'm not aware of any of our competitors that had many people in these capacities. I mean,
what would you call it? Is it like a content producer, or is it an editor? I mean, what was the actual title?
The title was content manager, but it's not in the traditional, I think in the traditional, nowadays the content manager title has a very marketing centric.
All right. So what made it the dream job? What about that job made it the dream? Think about the task, the role you were playing. That's what I'm looking for here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a big sports fan. I got to have that impact on the content day in and day out. And I think in the end, it was about what I liked most about the job. And, as things came on, I mean, I got to develop a lot of great content. I got to do a lot of data analysis. I've got a very analytical mindset. I got a storytelling mindset. But the biggest thing I enjoyed was growing and developing the people. That was the big part of my role, especially in the last couple of years, where I really felt like I had a great impact giving people their start in this industry, planting, I enjoyed the most was kind of planting the seeds of an idea or a concept that we could bring to life, and watching them take it in ways that I didn't even think were possible, taking it to that next step and making it blossom even more.
So you have to capture that answer right there. You have to remind yourself of that answer that you just gave me and our audience got to hear every day. Because the single greatest factor that made that job a dream job really was not sports related, and that should encourage your heart. That's good news. Now, what I mean by that is, do you keep your eyes open and your ears open, head on a swivel, looking for that type of job in the sports world? Yes. But since you're saying that there's not a lot of those content manager positions available, what other positions are available in the sports world that would A, allow you to remote work, and B, lead a team? And that may be pretty slim as well. So then we go, wait a second, got to remind myself, yes, I love sports, but what I love most about the job was leading a team. You really described Leadership 101. It was a beautiful description. And so you could do that in Fort Mill, South Carolina, in a lot of industries. So your sweet spot is not necessarily leadership in sports. It's leading. And so you could, as I say many times on the show, I hope you've heard me say it, Chris, that when you're in your sweet spot, there are multiple jobs, multiple dream jobs, multiple career paths. And so you being in leadership, in content, in sports is certainly a dream job. But I would also tell you that based on what you told me, you leading and developing a team and pouring into them and leading them towards a shared goal. Well, you can do that in a lot of different industries. Are you tracking with me?
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's a lot of the mindset that I've been trying to wrap my head around in terms of exactly what does that look like. I'm still trying to formulate, but
no. Don't overthink it. Well, don't overthink it. Go like here's your exercise. Here's the homework exercise after we finish this call. You ready? Here's what I want you to do.
Yep.
I want you to write down all the specific tasks and roles in that leadership role that you had, that you played during the day, and what gave you the most juice and what you loved about it. And I want you to do it. It's almost like write out your job description. Write it out for yourself and look at it and go, this is what I was responsible for. And think of the people stuff, not the sports related stuff. Because at the end of the day, when you write that down, you're going to look at that and you're going to go, that's all I got to look for in the marketplace. I'm looking online going, where are those roles? And then you've got this really impressive resume with a very well-known national sports brand where you were a leader. And so there are content positions all over the place where you enjoy the content. And maybe for a marketing company, we come in and lead a team. All that writing experience and content development, that is very transferable in non-sports companies. And you have to understand that. And then you got to believe that, where it becomes a conviction that you've got a lot to offer, and that's what you go after. And I think you still look for the sports things, but I think because you're somewhat limited, then I would start looking in the area. But I'm going to give you one other thought. I think you need to check out what Clay Travis is doing here in our area. Guy's one of my neighbors, and outkick the coverage. I think this guy, I think he's doing some, whether you agree with him or like him or not, he's doing some really smart things in carving out this independent sports media company. And I would look into stuff like that because they're driving a lot of content. Barstool Sports, who's driving content. I don't know who you work for. I think I have a guess. I'm not going to say it because you didn't forward it. But Chris, you just got to understand what you did is extremely valuable and extremely transferable, whether it's sports or not. But at the end of the day, the single driving factor that how do I find another dream job? Find a great place with a great culture that will allow you to lead and develop a team, because that is the definition of your dream job. 844-747-2577, Montreal, Canada. Up next, Elliot is on the line. Elliot, you're on the Ken Coleman Show. Hello, Elliot.
Hello, Ken. How you doing?
I am living the dream, sir. How can I help you?
Yeah, first of all, sorry for my English. My first language is French, so I may be struggling a little bit today.
Oh, you sound pretty good to me, man. I may butcher the language as well, so we'll just do it together. It'll be fun.
All right, thank you. So my struggling is that I have a hard time finding my first passion, my top passion, because I did your exercise on your website about talent, passion, and mission, and I don't know which one is my first top passion, so maybe you can help me with that.
Yeah, let's just walk through what you wrote down. So what do you got?
Yeah, the first one is cooking, eating, and discover new recipes.
Okay.
The second one would be discover new music and make it listen to my friends and family. And the third one would be meeting new people, and I like to know their stories. The fourth one would be organize my room, garage, toolbox, maybe even a problem with me with like organizing things. I like things to be straight and. And the fifth one would be helping people.
Yeah, but be more specific there, because that really takes us into mission. I say, who are the people you want to help? What's the problem you want to solve? And what's the solution to that problem you want to solve that you get most excited about? So let's keep flowing here. Who are when you say I want to help people, who do you want to help? How do you want to help them?
That's why I'm calling you. I don't really know.
Sure you do.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. You just have never had to really sit down and think about it. I think it's impossible, Elliot, for somebody as enlightened as you are to not have an idea of the people that your heart kind of goes out to. That you can come on, give me something, man.
I want to help people with their lives. I want to find their way. Maybe I can. I don't know. I'm a HVAC tech right now, and I like fixing things. I like when the people are happy. But
okay. So the people that you want to serve or help, I mean, it could be connected to some of the things we're hearing here, where you cook a good meal for them and you just get great joy out of. See, remember, it's not always a problem we're solving. It could be a need you're providing. So people want to eat a good meal. And so, you're a guy who's very organized. You like fixing things.
Exactly.
So the question is, we got to dive deep and let your heart and brain connect. So if you were a professional chef, how's that feel?
Yeah, it would be great.
Why? Why would it be great for you to be a professional chef?
Because I like creating recipes. I like cooking for my girlfriend. I like cooking for my family. It would be great.
Okay. Is there anything else that comes to mind when we just forget all this talent, passion, mission for a second? We put it on hold and we go, what would I do? What would I do if Ken could wave his pencil in the air and just make it happen? Poof. And I just got to try it. And I knew I couldn't fail. Besides being a chef, which I had a sense that was something that you'd be pretty jazzed by. Is there anything else like that that's at the top of the heart list?
I don't know. I'd like to have a store and sell things.
Why?
I like people. I like
there
talking.
We go.
Like listening to them. Yeah.
Yeah. So you like just connecting with people.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a social person. Yeah.
All right, but so now we have to go. Okay. The fact that you love people, what would be a career or a job that would allow you to connect with people a lot? And my question is as a chef, could you connect with people? Would there be enough people connections during the day to give you energy?
Yeah, maybe not in the kitchen, maybe in front. I don't know.
Well, no, don't overthink it. Just answer the question. If you're a thriving chef and you're working with a team in a kitchen and you can connect with people outside of work, what's the work that would fire your heart up? You would go, oh my gosh, I can't even believe I'm getting paid to do this.
Maybe a restaurant.
Yeah, I think a chef is one of the things. What if you own the restaurant? Eventually you work your way into it. Now you're going to go to culinary school. So there's a path here. It's not going to happen overnight. But I know many chefs here in the Nashville area that own their own restaurants. So they've got the best of both worlds. They cook some, but as they grow in success and own their own restaurant, well, they're greeting people, and walking around and so you just have to kind of stop thinking and you got to start feeling. And you got to go, what would I absolutely be blown away with? What's that vision for the future? And right now, I'm telling you that being a successful executive chef and eventually owning your own restaurant, that's on the list. It got your heart's attention pretty quick, the way you responded to that. Yeah. But you got to get practical and say, I love music and sharing music. Well, great. But if I can't figure out what 5 or 6 jobs or at least 1 or 2 jobs that pay decent money when it comes to introducing new music to people, then we got a problem.
Yeah.
It's not a great professional passion.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be a tremendous personal passion. Okay?
I understand. Yeah.
But you don't have to sacrifice those loves. It's just we're talking about when we look at this purpose sentence and we say, Elliot needs to use what he does best to do work he loves, to produce results that matter to him. We go, well, it's all in that sweet spot. Well, for you, on some level, fixing things, you're kind of in your sweet spot right now as an HVAC guy because you're going in, and HVAC is a super important thing to people. If it's super cold in Canada, in Montreal, and the heat ain't working, people are pretty miserable, and boy, are they happy when you show up at the front door. Am I right?
That's true.
In the middle of the summer, when the AC goes out, they're pretty miserable. Yeah. And those housewives and dads and moms are super happy when you show up in time to fix the HVAC before they have to try to go to sleep at night. You're the most popular man in their whole family, aren't you?
Yeah, I think that's what I like.
I know it's what you like. You're very organized and you do like fixing things. So those two things are something you're good at and something you enjoy doing. Ding, 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 talent, passion. Those are in your sweet spot.
Yeah.
But where mission comes in, as you know, I teach, mission is the results of my work that make my heart sing. And where that comes in for you is those happy people going, thank God for you, Elliot. Thank you for coming out here and fixing our HVAC system.
Yeah.
You go walking out and you get in the car and you got a smile so big, it hurts your face.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, then. So you are in your sweet spot. It's just not your dream job.
Exactly.
So so you just keep playing this thing out. You started off by going, Ken, I don't know what my top passion is. It doesn't matter what number one is. It's the collective of, I love creating and cooking. I love meeting people. I love organizing. I love fixing things. And the results that matter most to me are creating happiness and pleasure for people.
Yeah.
So don't overthink it. So you could be an executive chef. You could run an HVAC company eventually. You know?
Yeah.
So now we go, well, if I ultimately want to cook for people and make them happy by creating a great dining experience along with a wonderful palate experience, great.
Yeah.
Then you got to go to culinary school. How much is that going to cost? How long is that going to take? You know, you start answering the questions. And so now we got a plan. So I think what I want you to wrestle with is it that I want to be a chef and work for a fine restaurant and learn the restaurant business, save up money, and eventually open up my own thing? Or do I just want to be a great executive chef who changes restaurants every 5 or 6 years and I'm making great money, making people happy? You got to decide. You there? Right. You're ready. Yep. You got some more work to do. Go back to the sweet spot exercise and finish it out and go, okay, where are all the places in the marketplace where I can use what I do best, my talent, to do work I love, my passion, to produce results that matter to me, mission? And I've already helped you fill in the blanks. So now you just look at other ideas. You got a great one with being a chef, but now you just got to do a little more brainstorming. And folks, here's what's fun about this exercise. So now Elliot's got everything he needs to just sit there and he throws ideas out. It could be a whiteboard. It could be a big sheet of paper. It could be a moleskin like I've got in a pencil. And we're going, okay, these are my top talents. Blank, 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 and blank. These are my top passions, the type of work I love to do. Blank, 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 and blank, and blank. I fill it out. I look at it. And these are the results that matter most to me. I want to produce, and by the way, that's a great sentence to kind of fill out the mission piece. I want to produce this result, this result, this result, this result. And stop thinking. Your answers are there in front of you. Now feel it and go, oh, so what are all the occupations, career paths that would allow me to use what I do best, to do work I love, to produce results that matter? Well, oddly enough, you got a guy, Elliot, right here, who is in his sweet spot. It's not his dream job. But by the way, you got to step into the sweet spot to then ascend to the dream job. And so he's essentially, he's full on as an HVAC guy. That's in his sweet spot. But then he goes, well, I want more. I want to do more. Great. Do you want to run an HVAC company or a service type company like that? That every day you're making people's lives better and you're making people happy and you put your head on the pillow going, I'm a part of that. I'm a part of making people relieved. I'm a part of making people happy. I got a whole team that produces relief, satisfaction, and happiness. It's a good thing. Or do I want to be directly involved with my hands in that creative element as a chef? So that was the process you got to see happen, and that works for you as well. Because when you see the freedom within the sweet spot, that there are multiple jobs and career paths, and even multiple dream jobs, it takes the pressure off. It allows us to see and to explore. And then again, remember, go dig and go learn. Let the brain do what it's designed to do. It's a logic machine. Let's go gather knowledge. And then let the heart do what the heart does. The heart goes ding, 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 or eh. And then trust it. Trust your heart. All right. Got to take a really quick break. When we come back, We'll get to the chat room. We got some chat questions here ready to go. And I'm going to teach on the 5 qualities that everybody watching can develop to become very promotable. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
Our world is changing, but so are we. Now, we see a smile through someone's eyes. We conquer our struggles and cherish each moment because we're shielded through faith and assured by hope. And greatest of all, we love. The world is different, but so are we.
Welcome back to Ramsey Solutions Studios. I'm Ken. This is the Ken Coleman Show, where we talk about purpose in life and in your work, how they come together. We help you to figure out what your unique role is in this world and through your work. So we help you find your why at work, help you do your why at work. 844-747-2577. One of the ways you can engage with me on the show is through the chat room next to the video window there as you're watching on YouTube. And so let's go to the chat room here. Hattie Pipes writes in, I'm worried about going into debt if I go back to school. How do I figure out if pursuing my dream is worth it? I want to be a translator. Well, when someone says, how do I figure out if my dream is worth it? I always tell them it's always worth it. But let's define what it means. If it means going into debt, we'd say, well, you don't have to go into debt to pursue the dream. That is a myth. That is a lie that has been perpetuated by well-meaning people. It's not an insidious suggestion, but it's just incorrect. We don't have to go into debilitating debt to pursue our dream. We just don't. Okay? Does it speed up your timeline? Yeah, on some level, but it also slows you down when you got to pay all that debt back. So, first of all, Hattie Pipes, yes, it is worth pursuing your dream. It is worth it, yes. But what it's worth is the time it takes, because you're going to save up. So it's going to take you longer to get up that mountain because you're not going to do debt. Is it worth it? You bet it's worth it. It's going to take you longer. It's going to be hard to be patient and yet to persist on saving the money, finding other ways to do it. So it's worth it. Don't go into debt. If you want to be a translator, make sure that you've looked at every possible way there is to get qualified that doesn't require enormous amounts of money. Can you do it part-time? Pay as you go. Can you take an online course versus do you need a 4-year degree to be a translator? I don't know. I don't know that world very well, Joe. But sometimes I just think to myself, what does it take to be qualified to be a translator? Well, I think, number one, you got to be fluent in the language. Hello? Anybody back there in the control room paying attention? Let's play this out. At the end of the day, to be a successful translator, I don't know if they're going to require a degree or not, but let's strip the degree for a moment, because I think that's all nonsense too. What is really required to be a successful translator? You got to be fluent in the freaking language. All right, fluency, great. What else? I can't think of anything else. If I need a translator in a foreign country, I don't particularly need a great personality with that. I really don't. It would be a bonus. I'm just trying to think here. I'm having some fun with this. But I'm trying to help folks. I want you to understand something. Where are we saying the debt is? Now, again, this is full disclosure, folks. I don't know what a professional translator's qualifications need to be. I don't know if they're saying you got to have a bachelor's degree. Well, if that's the case, great. Then do an online school that nobody's ever heard of for a fraction of the cost. Pay it as you go. But I can tell you this, there are millions of ways, and I just know this, online right now for you to become fluent in a language. What is that well-known language teaching product. Babbel, but there's another one. Rosetta Stone. I mean, I've been watching TV before and I've seen commercials for Rosetta Stone. I mean, here's the deal. If an organization is looking for a translator and you are really fluent, not just book fluent, I mean you're fluent, prove it to them. Hey, get out the iPhone and sit there and go, hey, listen, I don't have a college degree, but I've done this, this, and this. Send them a video with your resume and give them 60 seconds. Pull out War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy or any classic book and start reading it in the language or languages. Just fire it off. Let them see. I'm just going to tell you, none of that requires debt, but sometimes I got to go off on this stuff. Don't assume that an expensive degree is what you need to succeed. All right, I've made my point. Corey writes in, what is the best way to find an entry-level position within business and finance while still in college? The best way to find an entry-level position is to look for it. So you know the business finance space, you're in college, so presumably you're in a college town, so you go, okay, this is my zip code, and in the zip code, I'm looking for any kind of entry-level position. Well, we got a small business guys looking for a personal assistant. I'm a sharp guy. I'm very organized and detailed. That's entry-level. I'm looking for that. You look for anything and everything. Entry-level is entry-level. It's just a ticket to the dance, and we'll do anything that we can just to get in. Look for it. That's how you find it. Go to the companies that are in the sectors that you said you want to get in. Don't overthink this. 844-747-2577 is the number. Okay, we're moving along quick here. Here we go. 5 qualities that will get you promoted. Now, on yesterday's show, and this is review content because we got new people watching the show all the time, and so many people have been watching, you need to be reminded of this. So yesterday, we talked about the 3 things you need to do to become promoted, a promotable person, if we want to use that phrase. And I told you what they are. You got to know your role, accept your role, maximize your role. But now there's 5 qualities that you need to be. So yesterday was about 3 things you need to be doing. Today's about 5 things you need to be becoming. And here's the good news as I go through this list. No matter who you are, where you're watching, no matter what you would assess yourself on these 5 qualities, if you ranked yourself 1 being awful to 10 being great, no matter what the ranking is, you can become a 10 in all of these qualities. So here we go. Quality number 1 that will make you promotable. Likable. Duh. I feel like I should say duh every time I go through this list on some of these. You got to be likable. Here's the deal. You can have all of the talent, all of the skills, but if you're a jerk, you're not going to get promoted. You might get promoted some, because I know some of you are going, well, Ken, there's a lot of jerks that are getting promoted. Yeah, in poor leadership and poor company cultures, some leaders will promote people who are delivering results and put up with all of their acid, toxic activities and behaviors. But I'm telling you, in healthy cultures, and eventually that person runs out of rope. So I'm telling you, be likable. Be a kind person. We know what likable means. I don't need to explain that one. Quality number 2, be coachable. Oh my goodness. This one is huge. Now let me describe what I mean by being coachable. There are 2 things that you will receive in your professional journey, and you need to receive these 2 things well to become a coachable person. The first is instruction. All of us, when we start a new job or when we take on a new level, there's something we need to learn. And you can't be the know-it-all and act like there's nothing for you to learn. So you've got to receive instruction well. The second thing you need to receive well is correction. Sometimes while you're being instructed, you need to be corrected. Or sometimes you're a bull in a china shop relationally, and you got to get called into the principal's office, and they got to tell you, hey, you can't do this. You got to work on this. You were too intense. You were too abrasive. You were clueless, whatever it is. So when you receive instruction and correction, receive them well. That makes you coachable. Quality number 3, be reliable. This is just, can people count on you? And really, you know what this comes down to? This is professional trust. Do I think that you're going to deliver? Can I count on you? When the chips are down, can I count on you? Be reliable. People just trust you. They know they can count on you. Quality number 4, and we talked about this in our opening article in the show today, that it's one of the highest ranked qualities now for hiring managers. Adaptable. Be adaptable. I can break this down to one thing. You just deal with change better than everybody else. There's a lot of people don't like change, and they don't like it to the point that they resist it, and it makes them get stuck in their career. It makes them go backwards in their career. Folks, if COVID and 2020 didn't teach us something about being adaptable, then you have almost no hope. I'm just going to tell you. Hey, listen, companies are going to have to move in technology with the speed of technology and everything, and cybersecurity and just all of the things. Adaptable leaders and adaptable team players are going to make for adaptable companies that can make it over the long haul. I'm telling you right now, if you've got a really weak change muscle, you better start working that bad boy out, because adaptability is directly connected to promotability, which is what we're talking about. And finally, the 5th quality that will make you promotable is honorable. Honorable. What do I mean by this? I'm talking high character. You're an honorable person. You do what's right. You say what's right. You treat men and women with respect. You're an honorable person. Integrity, high character. So quick review, the 5 qualities that everybody watching and listening can become a 10 in. Likeable, coachable, reliable, adaptable, honorable. I just gave you all the secret sauce. If you become those 5 things at a 10 level, you'll never have to worry about getting promoted in life, ever. So keep it simple. Ken, what do I got to do to get ahead? Be likable. Be coachable. Be reliable. Be adaptable. And be honorable. Good things come to men and women who represent those 5 qualities at a high level over the long haul. My time is almost up. But before I let you go, I want you to know that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.